The family has confirmed the death of O.J. Simpson. They did so this morning. Simpson was a football star and Hollywood actor, but will best be known for being acquitted of charges that he killed his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. It was a case that had the nation and even the world watching. From the moment he led police on that chase in his Bronco on an L.A. freeway, he was a figure that angered and fascinated people. Our legal analyst Karen Conti was a regular contributor for various networks during this infamous trial, and she joins us now live. Karen, thanks for joining us this morning from your car. We appreciate you doing this. Let's talk about that trial. When O.J. went to trial, it was truly called the trial of the century. Take us back to that time, and what do you remember most about it?
Well, it was a first for a lot of things that followed. Although there were cameras in the courtroom prior to O.J., this was the first really huge trial that was videoed. And it sort of set the precedent on an ongoing basis that the public wanted to see these trials and wanted to sit in their living rooms and watch these trials. So that was one of the things that I recall. DNA was definitely established at the time, but the jury didn't buy it. If you recall, there were weeks of testimony and hundreds of documents and 61 drops of blood when 3 labs examined all of those blood drops and tied them to O.J. Simpson, yet the jury didn't believe that it was his blood. So the jury just didn't understand it. And I think at the time, people just didn't understand how conclusive DNA can be. So those are the two things that I recall from a legal legacy standpoint.
Wow. And I understand you became friends with one of his attorneys, Robert Shapiro. Tell me about that. What was that like? And what did the two of you talk about? Did he talk about the acquittal? What can you tell us?
Well, Robert Shapiro was a very nice man. I did a mock jury trial of O.J. Simpson where we did the closing arguments ahead of time. And we had it all videotaped and we had a mock jury. And so when we did this and it was publicized, Robert Shapiro called my office and said, "Can I get that? I want to see what the jurors in your case were deciding and what they based their decision on." And so we developed a friendship. He's a lovely man. He was a very kind man. I think he was the one who held that team together from our conversations. And I just published a book about my representing John Wayne Gacy, and he was nice enough to endorse it. So we've maintained a friendship for almost 30 years.
Did he give you any inside scoop?
You know, I think he was very quiet about what went on. I think there was a lot of ego problems with all of those big egoed lawyers. Remember, we had, all of them were there. And I think that he was the one who held the glue together. And that's what we mostly talked about. I think he did think that O.J. Simpson was a very lucky man. And it really made his reputation. He was a good lawyer before that, but it really did cement his reputation in the community.
Okay, let's talk about this. So if you are to believe, and he was acquitted, that the killer was never found, and to his death, O.J. Simpson has maintained he was innocent. Do you think this case will ever be resolved? And let's talk about the long-term implications that this has had on our legal justice system today.
I just don't know that there's anybody else who could be charged or anyone else who's even a suspect. Certainly there could have been an accomplice, and it could have been one of the family members of O.J. Simpson, and that has been put out over and over again. But my guess is that we're never going to know. We're never going to have a definitive prosecution because I think O.J. Simpson was probably the one who did it. I think the legacy is just very interesting. Man, some of even the phrases, the dream team, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. We all know now you don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. We also know that if you have money and you have celebrity and you have fame, that you can get those good lawyers, and good lawyers get better results. And I think the opposite is true. When you don't have money, you get lawyers who aren't as good, and you can lose cases that you should probably win. So I think the legacy is that when you have all of these aspects to your person, that can affect the quality of justice you get in this country.
Still a fascinating person. So much more we could talk about, but I do appreciate you joining us at the last moment here. Karen Conti, our legal analyst. We appreciate your time.